Hello my fellow drummers, how's it going? It's Alex once again, bringing you some more fun drumming ideas. Today we're just going to look at sort of like a concept rather than anything in particular. And all it is really is probably just a little way that you can sort of take a beat and make it your own, and it's maybe like a little bit of an insight as to, you know, how some of those great drummers out there have come up with these really wicked grooves, you know, how it may have started off, you know, them practicing one thing and then just adding a slice of their own personality to it just by changing the odd thing or adding an extra ghost note, or, you know, just changing the voices of which part of the drum kit they're going to hit. And you know, you can just do such minor adjustments with the dynamics as well that you can make, you know, one thing sound completely different with, like I said, just very small little changes. So we're going to try and have a look at that. So I'm going to use a fairly cool sounding drum beat to go with it, and I hope you enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and let's give it a go. Right, so what I'll do, I'll just basically play this groove I'm on about, but I'm going to play like a few different ideas sort of based around the same concept. And then I'll break them down, and you know, you can sort of use 4 or 5 different ideas from this one. So it's quite cool. So yeah, like I said, I'll go for it full on and then do little bits of it. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go. How's it go? Yeah. So there's lots of little things going on. Really all we're doing is just nothing too complicated with the hands. They're always really just sort of sticking to that sort of right, left pattern. The thing that makes it sound a bit different is that sometimes we're bringing the right hand down to the snare, and sometimes we're taking the left hand up to the hi-hat. The only time I really do a double with one hand is sometimes on the beat 2 and the E of 2, where I'm doing a little double tap on the left. Okay, so I'll show you a nice little idea. So this is just really going to help us with the ending. Okay, and it's quite a cool ending. I got it from, if you check out a song called Citizen Erased by Muse, you'll hear that sort of idea there. And it just sounds quite cool. So we'll keep the intro fairly simple. I'll show you the ending, and then I'll break it all down. So we've got... Without that bit at the end, all I'm playing is... Okay, and it's when we get, so beat 1 is a bass drum on the 1 and the end of 1, so you go 1 and 2, and we're going to go right, left, and that's going to take us up to the and of 3, where we're going to play a bass drum. So we've got this. Okay, and it's after that bass drum there that things get a little bit weird. So after we've hit this bass drum here, on the and of 3, we're going to play a left hand note, keep it heavy, on the of 3. Okay, so we're going to get this like that. And then normally we'd, you know, the typical place for the sort of backbeat to be would be on beat 4. But of course we've just used our left hand to hit the snare drum on the of 3. So we're going to bring our right hand down and give it a good wallop on beat 4 to give us our sort of like standard sort of 4/4 rock beat vibe. Okay, so we're going to get this, and then after that we're going to go boom on the bass drum on its own, so that's on the E of 4, so far we've got, and that's the little section you want to get. Yeah, if we add that to what we did, so we've got bass, snare, right, left, bass, left. And then after that, we're up to the and of 4, which is going to go tick, and then an extra snare drum for the up of 4, which gives us that. So we're going to get right, left, when we speed it up, give it a bit of attitude, it sounds pretty fat. So we've got... bit faster. Now we've got that idea, we're just going to start adding little tiny bits around it. So if we go back to the beginning of the beat, instead of just playing one and, we can do one and. So we're going to put a bass drum on the of one. So we've got this one and. So you're just going to sneak that extra bass drum as you're lifting your right hand, or left if you're left-handed. So we get this one and two and three and that will sound like this. Nice. Next thing we can do is we'll double up the beat 2. So we're going to put a snare drum on beat 2 with the hi-hat, and then I'm going to tap it again. I'm going to keep that quite loud. Okay, so that brings us up to the E of 2, and then we just carry on as we've just been doing. So we've got 1 and 2 and put that together. A bit faster. Always forget the last 2 notes. Right, another thing we can do is to spice things up a little bit more. I'm going to bring on the and of beat 2, instead of playing on the hi-hat, because at the moment we're playing bass, 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 snare, snare, tick, snare. We're going to make that bass, 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 snare, 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 snare. Okay, so you're not changing the rhythm, your hands are still doing the same thing, but we're just going to make it sound a bit different simply by just changing one of the voicings, and by that I mean changing which part of the drum we're going to hit, or which part of the drum kit we're going to hit. So for this, all we're going to do, counting is exactly the same. 1 and 2, E and then we carry on. 3 E and 4 E and and this one sounds quite fat, like this. Okay, another thing we can add, we can just add a tiny little ghost note on the E of 1, so you get this. Okay, so just like I said, just tip of the stick. I use the side of a drum because it's a slightly lighter sound and it's going to bounce that little bit more. And I'm not really putting much sort of wrist action into it, I'm just dropping and catching it again. Okay, so you don't want it to sound any louder than that hi-hat. If you can get it a tiny bit quieter. So we've got like that. So we've got 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. I'm doing this all off the cuff. So if there's any mistakes, just bear with it. So let's hear that one in full flow. Right, so now that we've explored that, which is quite a bit of fun, like I said, you can just vary it from every bar that you do. You can just either take away a ghost note, add a ghost note, leave the right hand up on the hi-hat all the way through, bring it down to the snare drum when you want. So it just allows you to have a bit more variety to a nice sort of standard group, okay? So you don't get bored just playing, you know, the usual. Now we're going to have a little tinker around with that very last bit. And all we're going to do is we're going to play, as we do, hang on, from beat 4 onwards. Okay, so with beat 4 at the moment is a right hand on here, and then a kick on the E, and then we've got and up between the hi-hat and the snare. What we're going to try and do now is we're going to add another voice, and that's as we hit the bass drum on the E of 4, I'm going to bring my left hand up to the hi-hat, okay, which will work quite well because, you know, we're still maintaining that right left little pattern, and we're going to get this, and I'm going to open the hi-hat as I hit the bass drum, so you get this, yeah? And all I'm going to do after that is I'm going to play the next 2 notes. Instead of tick snare, we're going to play it snare snare, okay, so you get this like that. It's quite tricky getting that left hand bass drum and then lifting the foot at the same time, so you've got to think about 3 different things. Left hand down, right foot down, left foot up, and then you've got to bring it back down by the time you get to that snare drum. So you get this. Okay? And if I add that to everything else we've got, we get this. And it sounds good when it's fast. Towards the end, but you get the idea. So it's just taking, the only real thing that we were changing or making it, you know, it sounds a bit weird, was that beat 4. Instead of playing the left hand and the hi-hat together, we're using the right hand and playing like a slightly linear pattern just for that one beat. And I think it sounds quite cool. So I'll play it a couple more times. I'll just build it up as we did throughout the lesson, just so you can hear the progression of how we've added things. And then I'll come and say goodbye. So here we go. As you can tell, there's a lot of editing that goes on during these, which is why there's loads of mistakes. But anyway, what I've done is I've done some sheet music which just shows you all the little ideas and progressions of where we've added little bits to this beat. It's quite a cool idea. The concept alone of just sort of taking, you know, like a standard groove and then just changing and tinkering around with little bits, and that's kind of what helps us put our own personality into these sort of things and gives us our own sound, which, you know, I think we're all trying to sort of strive for ourselves. So yeah, if you want the sheet music for that, it will be, as always, available at onlinedrummer.com, and there'll be a link below, and the link always goes up on a Wednesday. So yeah, so just keep your eye on Online Drummers on a Wednesday, and you should get loads and loads of material to play around with. Okay, so don't forget, as always, if you liked it, smack that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, a great week, or whatever. I'll see you very soon. Alright, cheers, thank you very much.